You're in the wrong location. It's okay. So this has to do with campaign volunteer program. In order to elect Democrats, we must work harder and smarter to encourage our neighbors to vote this year. We need all of your help. Please sign up to be a campaign volunteer with the Washington State Democrats coordinated campaign when you sign in for your precinct caucus. We will be organizing on a neighborhood level to get more votes for President, U.S. Senator, Governor, and Democrats up and down the ballot. If you sign up, you will be contacted by an organizer with the campaign. Actually, if you don't sign up, the chances are they're going to have your name and they will call you anyway, because we do need everybody's help. So here's a little bit about the rules for what we're going to be going into. Only registered voters in the precinct may vote, although others may participate in discussion. In order to vote, a person must complete a sign-in sheet, what you either filled out at the door or you printed out in advance and brought with you. That sign-in sheet stating that you are a Democrat and stating your preference for president or uncommitted. In '92, when I first ran and ended up as a national delegate for Paul Tsongas, even though his campaign had been suspended, the second leading vote getter was uncommitted. So believe it or not, that's actually a legitimate category that you can choose to. I suspect that's not why most of you are here today. A 17-year-old who will be eligible to vote on November 8th, 2016 is considered a registered voter for purposes of these rules. So, the more the better. The precinct caucus may not convene earlier than 10:30. The caucus and the precinct caucus may not adjourn any earlier than 11. So you gotta put up with your neighbors for at least. So now let's talk about the fun part. Money. So there is no registration fee or requirement to spend any money to be here today. This is an open democratic process. However, I will tell you that the state party doesn't support this process. Each legislative district is responsible for renting all of the school location and putting together, I mean, we killed a few trees to make all the paper for this thing. I believe when we did this in 2008, that we spent something in the neighborhood of $20,000 because there are lots of locations that you have to rent, and renting the school got to be a lot more expensive than it used to be too, and because you pay for custodial service, etc. So when you get to your precinct caucus, there are in your individual envelope, among the things that are there is a little sort of a campaign fundraising speech. And you are welcome and encouraged to put money in that will go into each precinct's envelope. Because of the PDC regulations about reporting money, what you need to do is, if it's in a check form, obviously your name's there. There's actually a sheet in that registration packet to put your name on and identify how much you've done. I apologize for that feeling like it's invading privacy, but if you don't, then that money doesn't get, it has to get treated differently, and we're not actually allowed to take it as funds to give to the Democratic Party. It actually ends up going to the state general fund. So it actually has to be a designated campaign contribution to the Democratic Party. So whether that's done by check or whether that's done by cash with your name and that amount on it, that's how we get to use the money to help support the 34th District Democrats, and we hold our monthly meetings. And the third is to have money available to support the candidates and causes that the district organization as a whole chooses to endorse and support with the dollars that we have available for that. So that's the end of my fundraising speech. Now, so this year is kind of new and different in relation to this whole be here or don't get counted kind of approach. And it's led to more confusion, and I will do my best to respond to any questions in relation to this, but frankly, I'm still coming to understand it. In prior years, it was plain and simple. You had to be physically in the room at the time of your precinct caucus to have your vote count. And there were a few exceptions for absentee ballots that were done in advance. What they did this year for the first time was allow this advance process where you could petition to fill out a form in advance that essentially was an absentee ballot, and have that absentee ballot used in order to be able to have your vote count. And those were, some people have brought those today. Some of those were actually delivered by the state to our district and are in the packets. And the state ended up with something like 30 or 40,000 of those by the deadline, which I believe was a week ago. So those, to the extent that there are those, and I forget what they're absentee ballot equivalents. Thank you very much. Those can be used to count your totals when you're in your precinct caucus. There are some of you who also, actually probably aren't here anymore, that came in earlier today and said, I filled out my form, but now I figured out I can't actually stay here today. I have taken those forms and I've put them in the packets because they are certainly information that the district will use to try to reach out. And the reality is, even if you're not here today, there's an opportunity to move on in the delegate process in the second round. But the reality is that those people who filled out the regular online form, either in advance or today, those votes actually don't count. Those are considered proxy votes, and proxy votes are not allowed under the state party rule. But again, we will reach out to all those people. And just to give you a sidelight, so what happens is that each precinct ends up electing, and it'll be your packet to tell you how many people you're going to elect as delegates and alternates in your particular precinct. And it's based on the voting record of that precinct in prior elections, and the census count, etc. Don't ask me to explain exactly how that calculation is done, but you will see, okay, our precinct is allowed to put 3 delegates up. And so those 3 delegates are automatically elected to attend both the county convention, which is primarily the platform discussion about policies. But they're also then elected to go to the 34th district-wide caucus, where we'll meet as a larger body. And what always happens is, so let's say that your precinct has 3 people that are elected, and only 2 of them happen to show up that day. When the count is done at that 34th District Caucus, they'll discover that, okay, so we've got space for 400 delegates at this caucus, based on all the precincts in the caucus. Only 300 people are here, and so you can be there and sign up and have petitioned to also become a delegate. And so I've never personally seen a case where there was someone that wanted to move through and be a delegate at the next level at the full district caucus, that there wasn't space for them to do that. So those folks that couldn't be here today still have that people. Or if your particular precinct elects 3 people and there's a 4th person that really wants to be, they can sign up as an alternate, and alternates get seated with 40 people. But when you get to the next level, you're not bound by your precinct caucus anymore. So if there were 4 people in your precinct that really wanted to go to the next level, and only 3 of you got elected in the precinct, that 4th person could be elected at large when we get to the district caucus. Is that completely confusing? Yeah. Okay. You'll see some of that as you're going through your packet, the script from the packet to follow, and then there'll be a lot more information that's put out as we head toward this district caucus. But the intention is to encourage as many people as possible to participate and move forward. And then it's a gradual minimum process to end up electing I think there are at large, not including elected officials, I think there are 50 or 60 delegates who actually end up going to the national convention. You work through your district process through to the congressional caucus, and each time the number of people, the number of spaces goes down, and you actually start having to be a politician running for office. It can be quite exciting. So.
Philadelphia. In the middle of summer. Delightful.
June something.
And it says here, to matters not specifically covered here in Robert Rules of Order, newly revised for Philadelphia. Well, I've run a lot of meetings on the Robert Rules of Order, but it was 20 years ago, so I may not be the newly revised version that I'm on. So, you know, if somebody decides they want to come up and offer to be a parliamentarian, I'll be happy to listen. Excuse me a second.
We are. Can we start breaking up into districts?
5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Okay, so this is the state party's affirmative action statement. The Democratic Party has a commitment to include historically underrepresented people in the party by virtue of race, ethnicity, age, sexual orientation, or disability. We encourage full participation by all in the delegate selection process and all party affairs. Please complete the ethnicity, LGBTQ, disability, veteran, and union information on the sign-in sheet so that we can assess how well various groups were represented today. And again, you'll see some of this in your packets, and there's always an attempt to be as diverse in the selection of delegates at every level of the process. We hope that those of you who are members of racial minority groups, LGBT, youth, and persons with disabilities will seek to represent the candidates you are aligned with to participate at the next level of the caucus and convention cycle. And again, as a repeat from earlier, any resolutions you have brought with you today will be collected in your precinct caucus, put them in that envelope, and then and all of these envelopes go back to our district group, and we sort through and make sure that all the resolutions and all of that information gets put together in a proper form and is submitted to both the county and the state. And in some cases, actually, some of them we may bring forward some of those resolutions at our next district meeting. Okay, guess what? I think what we're going to do is start identifying where all these reasons are going on.
If your number starts 0900 retired, you're in your room. You started there and going all the way around to here, but there's no way to hang on the room. We can't hear you. So we started at 0900 around the corner and get higher to the ground room. There are 2 signs that we can't hang on the first for those of you who are earlier numbers are down the hall, starting in the computer room. So 0033, 0298.
Are we breaking off right now, or are you just...
In a moment when we finish this.
And 0377 are in the library. 0560, 0824, and 0485 are in the computer room.
So here's what will make it easy. If someone from each of these precincts that are going to go down the hallway will come up here, then we'll hand one into the envelope and yeah.
I put 2, I think it was 2 and 3 in the location. But I thought
Yeah, so hang on, yeah, so what are the 0381. Oh, 0560. So 0900 is going to go far into the back corner of the gym. Got somebody can take the 0900.
Are the ones in the other?
Yeah, they just all have that one. We're going to go right here so that I can hang in. 0900? No, here, we pass that back to the gentleman now with the cap on.
Oh.
We're going down the hallway. And there are big signs of different. Why don't you
Go around this guy.
1064, sort of toward the back of this room.
Library, okay. Well, I think, I haven't used my book, I'm assuming the back of that, like, what, by the basketball.
Looks like there's a group back there.
Oh, there's shots, but I thought that these were all zero.
No, it starts with 0. 1047. 1047, go to the farthest back table on this.
The website says we can turn this in at 10 if we backslate for some reason. It's 10:30 to turn this in.
Yes. What?
1064, it's that course. Should I just hand it to you?
That corner, you said?
So, yeah, 1047 in this corner and 1064 in that corner. 1082 is right here. Down the hole.
Thank you. 108. I haven't heard 1030.
Whoever's got 1032, would you wave your hand on where 1032 is hanging? Oh, back there by that. Yeah, they did, and they went sort of toward the back table on this. Right out on the line. Yes. Go to www.pollingplaces.democrats.org. Seems like it's that site's working again. So pollingplaces.democrat.org. And then all you can do is put in the address and it should tell you.
1104.
Okay. Yes, it does. You're allowed to register.